I guess the one thing I really noticed this year at Comic-Con was the amount of companies out there who are trying or doing their darnest to compete with Hot Toys in the 1/6 figure market. Huh, interesting. Denobi2 here, and thank you for joining me once again on another visual tour. Another video from Comic-Con. This time I want to focus on the amount of companies other than Hot Toys that are releasing interesting, unique 1/6 figures. After doing the Ghostbusters review, I wanted to kind of explore more from Blitzway, and some of you may or may not know, but they are releasing the Fight Club figures. I don't know if they've been released yet or not, but they're very impressive. I was really blown away. I think this is a really good interpretation of Brad Pitt in the movie Fight Club. I personally don't really care for this character. I think Brad Pitt's a cool actor, but as far as Fight Club, I never really had that connection. The other company that was being distributed by Bluefin was Storm Collectibles. And I don't know too much about Storm Collectibles other than that they love to do these sport figures, and they signed on this deal with Mike Tyson. But you know, when I think of Storm Collectibles and Mike Tyson, I keep thinking about that one video I saw on YouTube with the rubber joint break-in and the poor craftsmanship quality. So I don't own a Storm figure, but maybe this company might have a little bit further in development to go. That being said, I also forgot to mention that I got to meet the artist, the creator who sculpted the heads for the Ghostbusters. Turns out she's a really nice lady. She has no English, and I was actually communicating with her English translator. But overall, really nice lady. She was looking at me like, "What's he saying?" um, let's talk about Sideshow, because Sideshow, in my opinion, seems to really be trying hard to compete with Hot Toys. They really want to get in some of that market, and they're going about it in such weird and unique ways. And I don't understand. I don't understand how they can charge $200 for a comic book version of Wolverine and a comic book version of Punisher. You're not paying an actor, so how can you justify that? And plus, it doesn't even look like a decent Punisher. And Wolverine, I'd rather go with a Hugh Jackman from Hot Toys. And their Star Wars line is so boring. If I'm going to do Star Wars 1/6 scale figures, honestly, I would rather go with Hot Toys, because the characters that Sideshow tends to choose, they just don't seem to pop. I mean, they're bland. Who really, the bounty hunters? People are still collecting the bounty hunters. Why would you want to collect that when you can collect Hot Toys? You know, Luke from The Force Awakens and Finn and the new Stormtroopers. I mean, come on, there's just by no comparison. Hot Toys does a better decision in picking the Star Wars characters versus Sideshow. I mean, the quality and their choices, it speaks for themselves. Let's talk about Chronicle. I don't know if you guys may or may not know, but Chronicle Collectibles, they too want to get into the 1/6 scale, realm and market, and they have some unique figures that caught my eye. They got some prototypes that they were showing off, and I gotta tell you, the Arnold from Conan the Barbarian, it looks pretty damn good. I mean, it really, like, oh, this is pretty decent. I mean, the sculpt was there. I mean, it looks like 1982, 84 Arnold Schwarzenegger, what he looked like back in the day. I mean, look at the blood, the detail. It's it's kind of creepy. I mean, it's him. It is the kind of, it's mind-boggling. I mean, they're getting there. I mean, right down to the right down to the James Earl Jones head. I mean, that's eye-catching. They are really going out, all out here. They're also exploring, I guess, the TV show Vikings. I guess this is where this character's from. I'm not too familiar with him, but it's really more of the Jurassic Park line that caught my attention. The fact that they're tackling the Alan Grant, Sam Neill, and Chris Pratt from Jurassic Park. It's there. I mean, it's an okay Sam Neill. It's not the best, but they are tackling the 1/6 figure of Jurassic Park, and I don't know any other company that's ever attempted that. So my impression is that these other companies are tackling the other properties where Hot Toys feels that is not important to them, because right now Hot Toys, all they're doing is Marvel and Star Wars. Well, what about Jurassic Park? You know, what about Conan the Barbarian? I mean, that's a pretty good looking, Chris Pratt there from Jurassic Park, and Sam Neill needs a little bit of tweaking, but nevertheless, it is, Alan Grant from Jurassic Park, and it'd be kind of cool to have that in the collection. So they're in the right direction. So I'm giving them a few points for that. I mean, it's pretty good. There has to be a market for Conan and Jurassic Park. Let's go back to QMX. I did a Star Trek video showing that they're doing Star Trek 1/6 scale figures, which just blew me away. That's an earlier video. But let's talk about the other stuff, because they actually have an expanded line. They're going to be doing the supernatural figures. And from what I can tell, they look pretty decent. I've seen maybe one episode of Supernatural. I'm not a big fan of the show, but the fact that they're tackling it is pretty, impressive. Again, these other companies who are trying to grab market share in the 1/6 scale community, they're going after stuff that Hot Toys feels is not important. But I mean, Supernatural, I mean, that's pretty damn impressive. The only thing I can say about Chronicles and QMX is that their price points. Everybody wants to charge the Hot Toys price, and I don't know if that's fair or right. These figures are supposed to retail for $180. I don't know if somebody's going to pay that for a Supernatural figure. And Princess Bride, this is just to me, it's an old ancient property. I just can't see someone spending money on a Wesley character from the Princess Bride, especially for their $180. Are we going to see Andre the Giant? Are we going to see the Princess? Are we going to see a Fred Savage figure? There's not. I mean, it's my generation, and me personally, I don't care for the Princess Bride. I mean, I saw the movie in theaters. I thought it was an enjoyable film, but I don't see it. But I still give props and credit to QMX that they are tackling properties that are being ignored by the top guys. They're also going to be doing a figure on Justified. Again, this is, I mean, it's like, really, you really are going to do a figure on Justified? I didn't think it deserved one, but there's Firefly, but Firefly has a cult following, though. Firefly aged like wine, where it has a cult following, where I could see it being justified on 1/6 scale figure. So, and this is all the first. I remember I spoke to the curator of QMX, and these are all prototypes. They're going to be testing the waters and seeing if there's a demand for it. Look, let me know what you guys think about all this. All these other companies trying to get in, trying to grab some of this market share. Do you guys feel it? Do you not feel it? Do you feel safe sticking with Hot Toys? Me personally, I like what Hot Toys is doing so far. Like, subscribe, leave your comments below.